Hey Flosstube, welcome back. This is the start of episode 5.5. When my sister and I get together, we like to talk and we play off of each other, and I hope you're enjoying that. This next section is some haul that I had, and we talk about some of our favorite floss tubers and some other fun things. So hopefully you enjoy this next segment, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Are we shopping now?
So now we're shopping.
Yes.
So my haul. So 123 Stitch has a daily sale item. I don't know if you've seen that. They'll do a
daily temptation.
Yeah, a daily cross stitch
where
pattern.
we don't have to pay shipping. It's even worse.
Oh, it's so bad. Because like I said, we can pick up, and it's from my house, maybe 12 minutes.
It's further from mine, so she picks my stuff up a lot.
Yeah, I do.
She spoils me.
But this one was on their daily, and they already have it. So it's Jelly Bean Jubilee by Brenda Gervais, and which is With Thy Needle and Thread, and they already have it cheaper than anywhere else because they do that.
They probably buy in bulk so they can do it.
But then it was like it was almost like a whole $2 cheaper than normal.
Like
it was like 8 something. And it's so cute. But it's all these little smalls.
Look how cute the book is. It's like a book.
It's a full-on book.
Cute. You can see, I can't see. Look how cute the bottom of that book is.
So and then I can kind of fold it. So one page has like the colors listed and then a photo of the individual pillow, and then the next page you get a full color
pattern.
I'll kind of show you kind of a color pattern. So it's beautiful. It's so well made and totally worth, even if you bought it full price, totally worth it. And they're all DMC.
Are they really?
They're all DMC. I was so excited. I'm like, I bet I have like every one of those colors.
Can I tell you how often I kick myself for not spending the money when they were like less than $0.25 a piece of buying like the entire set of DMC times 3?
Yeah.
Because it would have cost like nothing compared to what it does now.
So when I was anyway, for 6 years I worked at a craft store. And this particular craft store, when DMC floss would go on sale, it would be 5 for $1. And people would just come and buy like fistfuls. And I hated it once we got our scanners, because there for a while we could just count and then type it in and this is the price. But when we got our scanners and I had to scan every single one of them, it was kind of a pain. But I wasn't a cross stitcher. Like, I'd buy the floss for like my girls to make like friendship bracelets or whatever, but I wasn't a cross stitcher at the time. And now I like die. I go in, they've converted it to a Joanne's and so it's my old store, and I walk in and it's Joanne's now, and I'm buying the same like floss, and I'm lucky if I get 2 for $1. It just makes me want to cry.
No, whenever I buy those big ones, I always try, like for a big project, I always try and, as I collect them, keep them so that the scannings are all on one side, so they're not
so
having
nice
to flip and flop them.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, sorry.
Yeah. Then as part of, so I did buy the Biscornu because I wasn't ever finding fabric for my Biscornu, and we knew we wanted to do a style together. So I just bought the one that she bought because I loved it. So that's a purchase. And then I bought one of their needle minders. And
they're pretty cheap too.
They're way cheap. They're like, it was like $1.50 or something. And it's cool because now they have like a little peg back with the magnet, because
they used to just do the magnet.
When they're inside that little thing, it's hard to get them out. So now with the little peg back, they're way easy to get the magnet off. So I like that.
I haven't seen this.
You haven't seen this. So
we usually text each other all of our things.
I know. It's because it was my Mother's Day gift. That's why you haven't seen it.
Oh.
So I bought Acorn Sugar Box by Jeanette Douglas.
Oh, I used to love acorn things. I was traumatized.
Yeah. So I bought this one, and it's supposed to be the wool threads from, I think it's Weeks wool threads. Might be Gentle Arts. Might be Gentle Art wool threads. But they're like $4 a skein. So I will, and I have it has to be Weeks because I have a lot of the colors already if I do it in the regular thread. So the outside variegated part is a silk, but what I think I'm gonna do is stitch it in the regular overdyed flosses instead of the wool, and I think I'm gonna find a Threadworks floss.
I think you should give silk a try.
Outside. But if I do silk, I'm not gonna pick this color because I don't love this
sounds like
one.
we need to go shopping.
So we need to go shopping.
No,
we need
I
to go to the
really
Stitchy
enjoy
store.
stitching with silks. They're beautiful. They flow through the fabric and they feel good on your fingers while you work with them.
I wouldn't mind trying it, but I'm not a huge fan of that color anyway.
That's cute. If you guys ever decide you want to decorate with real acorns, make sure you bake them instantly. And I didn't know that sometimes the acorn bottom pulls from the top. So I had all my kids working with me, and we found tops to all the bottoms and had glued them all together. So they were all sitting on the kitchen table, and we went to bed. And I woke up, and my table was moving. And I have a gray speckly table. It's like countertop table. And oh my gosh, the table was moving, and I was like, what on earth? And all these little white bugs had crawled out of my acorns, and they were everywhere. It was the most horrifying thing I've ever experienced in my life. She calls me and was
like, Jennie!
Oh, I don't like bugs.
No.
I pay for a monthly sprayer man to come, and I know it's every 3 months, but if I see something, I'm calling that man back, and he's spraying, and I seriously cannot look at an acorn now without going,
Yeah.
So bake them instantly, low heat,
for
a long time. No, kill the bugs.
Don't take home bugs.
Yeah.
So I got Graceful Gray Linen. You can kind of actually see how white it is, or how gray it is compared to this white. This is a skein of Cosmo White. If you
Cosmo White
have not stitched white or black with Cosmo thread, you're missing out. It's so much better than DMC. The coverage is better. It's like a softer floss too. It's so much easier.
I've often wondered if black dye just beats the heck out of the strands, because black is just usually a thin, nasty thing to work with. And not so with Cosmo. It's thick and luscious.
That's what I used for my Headless Horseman. And it's on 28. And there is very little areas that you can see through it.
It's got beautiful coverage.
And that's on a 28. So that just kind of shows you.
I learned about Cosmo from the Frosted Pumpkin designers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I would really pay for all the other colors per se. Some of them are really pretty. They're brighter. They're a little bit more vibrant than the DMC, but the white and the black.
Yeah, and they have a very white, which I bought, and that's actually what I used for my love.
Oh, is it?
Is the very white. Instead of a B5200. I couldn't find any of my white skeins. They must be in my other projects, because I've stopped buying DMC white and I've switched to Cosmo white, but I couldn't find any of them. So, because I knew I wanted a Cosmo white, so I pulled out the very white, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
It looks really good. So anyway, the coverage is so much better. And then I bought, so this fabric is for a,
it's not for the acorns?
No.
Oh.
This is for the Americana Trifles by Shepherd's Bush.
Do I know what that is?
Probably not. They're little mini pillows.
Oh, those cute little tiny ones?
Yeah,
you bought
they're
those?
really cute.
I'm
no, so that's the funny story.
You bought the fabric before the pattern?
No. So I bought the autumn
trifles.
But 123 Stitch sent me And this was during COVID, so I had to ship it. It was very sad. We actually had to pay for shipping. It made me sad.
So terrible.
It was
$3.
terrible. Well, when you can buy a skein of fancy floss for that.
Well, anyway. I'm the same way. I won't pay $5 for my Russian because I can get a whole kit for that. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
So anyway, they sent me the Americana trifles instead. And when I called them and told them, they said, keep it. We'll send you the correct one.
Oh, that was nice.
They're so nice. Their customer service is fantastic. So, and I've even called, and that was probably the same order that I called and switched my fabric count. I decided I wanted a higher fabric count.
So these colors are for the trifles.
So they're for the trifles.
I was a little worried they were for the acorns.
No, they're for the trifles. So the Americana trifles. So there's that.
That will be cute.
Isn't that pretty? And these actually aren't the called for flosses for the Americana trifles. They were a Gentle Arts one.
You don't like Gentle Arts, do you?
They're hard to find.
Well, and their color lots do change quickly too.
They change dramatically because I bought a peacock Gentle Arts that I loved and bought a second skein, and it was very different. It was still pretty, but very different. So
what color is that blue?
This one is Michael's Navy.
Michael?
Yeah,
Michael's Navy.
Say Michael's Navy, and then Cayenne is the red. So I really like those. I think they're pretty. I went through all of my saved Americana like pieces on my wish list to find like a red and a blue that were actually in stock that were kind of
stock
brighter.
Is terrible. Like if anyone has Freedom in their stash and can find a blue that's similar, I would love to know what you would replace it with. Because you can't find Freedom right now.
Freedom? What color?
It's Weeks, isn't it? It's Freedom Weeks.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so
I'm pretty sure it was Freedom. Yeah, Sage has a project, my daughter, that she can't start because I can't find her the floss. She's getting a little frustrated with me. And I'm like,
Shepherd's Bush just opened. Maybe we need to take a trip there.
Yeah, you'll find an excuse to go there any day.
And also for Mother's Day, there was a sale. The Stitching with the Housewives had a sale.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, they did. They put all of their Etsy patterns on sale, 20% off. So
oh, nice.
So I bought this cute little bee pattern. And it's called Be Mine.
I love that one.
That one's so cute. So it's a little Valentine ornament.
We have to dye the fabric to match that one. Mm-hmm. We should do it together.
We should.
Because we could see each other now.
Oh, we totally can.
Because we're vaccinated.
We're vaccinated. It's a great thing. We haven't seen each other in forever because of it. Sad. So anyway, I bought that because it was on sale, and then I bought this really pretty Americana one from Cherry Hill Stitchery, and this is it. And it's her new one. It's called Sweet Land of Liberty. And
it's cute too.
Yeah, and it actually calls for one of those flosses, so in it. So I'm excited about that because then I can kind of coordinate it.
I love when she finds new designers because I'm like, oh, I haven't seen those before.
Yeah, and Cherry Hill's the one that I did the Easter piece for, and I also have a bee welcome one that I'll be starting here soon too. So my husband, I think I've mentioned before, is a beekeeper, so suddenly I'm drawn to all the bee things.
And I just like bees. I've always wanted to be a beekeeper too, but my husband won't let me because I'm allergic to bees.
It's not recommended, I promise.
But I got chickens.
Yeah.
I got chickens this year.
Yeah, you did.
You can't have chickens. I think they'd eat your bees.
Probably.
Yeah.
I can't have your dog visit either because he would eat my bees. He's a big dog too.
Yeah, I have a part Newfoundland, part St. Bernard, part Rottweiler, and he's
sweet.
He's sweet.
So
he
sweet.
looks like a lab on steroids. Like
yeah,
he does. Super tall and super big, but he has issues with these. Like I can't count how many times he has been stung and his lip swells up and his eyes swell shut, and I'm like, seriously.
He tries to eat them.
He tries to eat them and they sting him, and he'll bark at them. And we went camping once and we had hornets everywhere.
They were
everywhere. Like it was so gross. Like you couldn't like cook without them just like.
Yeah.
And he was just like.
It started to rain though, so that helped keep them away.
Keep them away, yeah.
It was nice.
But I've had to keep Benadryl, liquid kids Benadryl, in my motorhome, not for the kids, for the dog, who eats bees and swells. It's just unbelievable.
And because he's so big, you can do like a full like.
It's like a kid's dose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of nice because he's getting older. Sad, but he's starting to get like arthritis and stuff, and so his dose is the same as what an adult is for aspirin for his arthritis, and so it's easy to remember because I just give him that lowest adult dose and away he goes. But yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah, Richard said that our dog Buddy, he's a little Schnauzer Yorkie mix, and he was sitting on the couch with him, like snuggling him and stuff, and all of a sudden he starts like whimpering and whining and jumps down and is like making all these weird noises, and kind of over by the window, but not out the window, but like in the carpet. He's like, what is going on? So he goes over. There was a bee in the house and it was crawling, and
I wonder if it came in on Buddy
or Richard.
Oh yeah,
yeah, because his bees swarmed on Sunday, and so they were having to
find new bee home
for it. And so when he came in, I think it probably hitched a ride on him because they were everywhere. and the queen had landed on Richard's stomach, and so I think he got the pheromone, and so he probably brought in one of the bees.
He was attractive.
Him. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, but Buddy just was sitting there like making all these weird noises, and Richard finally went over and there was a bee, so he picked it up and like tried to let it outside. He finally had to like kind of flick it a little bit because it wouldn't like fly away. He's like, come on,
go away.
Come on. Anyway, but yeah, Buddy doesn't like him. I think he got one in his ear, and it might have stung his ear once because he just was wigging out when we first got him. I think they were investigating the territory, and so there were a few that were very, very territorial almost. Like for those first couple of weeks, they would just kind of dive bomb whoever came out, and he just wigged out. So he's kind of been afraid of them since.
I can't really blame him.
No, me neither. But.
Well, I have to tell you, I am so proud of you.
Aw.
You learned how to cross stitch. And now you do a floss stitch.
I know. And I learned how to sew too.
And she learned how to sew, and it's opened this whole new world. And now I get to be a guest appearance, and I don't have to do any of the hard work. Nope. I just show up and get to smile at all of you wonderful people.
This was supposed to be what it was.
We had planned on it, doing it together, and what were we going to call it?
It was, she made me do it.
She made me do it.
Because she got me into it, and every time Richard's like, Jennie, you spot stuff. She made me do it.
I'm like, Jennie will need a floss, and I can't let her go to the stitchy store by herself. That is like
no.
So, and then how can you walk in a store without walking out with something? I personally can't do it. No. So then she made me do it.
Yeah.
And then when we order online, I've earned free shipping. Want anything?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or she finds stuff that's so cute, and suddenly I'm like, because for the last 2 years I have said I'm not buying any more stitching. Like I have enough. Because it used to be, I would joke, I need at least a 2 or 3 year food storage of stitching. So and it came in handy over COVID because when you couldn't find anything, I'm like,
I got it covered.
But I've kind of exceeded that at this point.
Yeah. But being a new stitcher, like I've been going deep diving, trying to find my style and my designers that I like, and following.
So it's been fun to see what she's found. That's for sure. And she stitches very different than I do. So it's fun to see. She has projects that I would never stitch or would never buy. And then she stitches and I'm like, oh, that really is pretty. I think it's just like when you go to the store and you see it in person, you're like, oh, that's so much cuter than I thought it was.
Yeah. And there are definitely pieces that I'm like, yeah, I'm good, that you buy or
you just don't want to stitch my chicks, do ya? Nobody does.
I can appreciate.
Does anybody out there love my chicks like I love my chicks?
Comment below if you love her chicks, and I will forward those messages. Laugh.
Oh my gosh,
they're funny. They're funny. Yeah.
My kids hate them. Hate them.
I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think that's why I've stitched on it for so long and haven't put it away. Because every time I pull it out, they're like, "Oh, Mom,
not again."
When are you gonna quit stitching on that?
Yeah.
And your husband's very opinionated about your stitching.
He's so opinionated about it. So, well, if you just changed this, and I'm like, can you just look at it and say, it looks good? Like,
and my husband could care less. Like, even with the amount of money I spend, because he has a very expensive hobby he has started. He's decided he wants to make black powder rifles for all of his grandsons. And, like, the kit alone is like $300. And so I'm like, dude, that's like a year's worth of stitching shopping, man. I have no guilt. No guilt whatsoever when I spend $50 here or there.
Yeah. No, it was funny. I was watching a Flosstube with him the other day. I won't say whose. But I was watching it, and he happened to come downstairs and started to watch with me for just a few minutes, and they were showing their finishes. And he was like, that's not how, and starts like critiquing even there. So I'm like, well, I'm glad it's not just mine.
Funny. Oh. See, and Brent walks through and he looks at the TV and he just rolls his eyes and keeps walking. He's just
I don't remember. I think he came down because he was trying to get Buddy to lay next to me. And he thought if he laid down with him for a minute that he would stay.
And then the dog wouldn't bug him.
Yeah. And he didn't stay. As soon as he saw him go upstairs, I think he's worried he's gonna miss out on a walk, because Richard's been taking him on a walk every day.
What are your favorite Flosstubers to watch?
I love, my very favorite is the Sunshine Stitchers. They are hilarious.
That's the one that you watched as 3 people, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it's 2 women and a man, and Gary loves Halloween.
I love Halloween too, Gary.
That's why I've told you to watch it.
I know, I just have no free time.
Yeah, so, and he picks these fabric colors that you wouldn't necessarily initially think would look good, and then they look amazing. But he is a crazy fast stitcher, so he always has a finish, which gets your finish, like...
I finish my Halloween projects way more than I do any other project.
Yeah, you do. And then Sheila has very different types of stitching. She does a lot of like specialty stitches. She takes classes and stuff and does like specialty stitches, and so she has a lot of really cool projects. And she does like a daily rotation, and so you see a lot of different projects with her. And EJ, she's kind of more similar probably to my style, but she's a newer stitcher too, and so I feel like a lot of commonality there, because she's trying new things and I try new things, and so I feel like, but they're hilarious together. And Gary, him and his husband started the Garron Stitchery and do like the bags and the grime guards and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's kind of cool because he now gets shop haul. So he'll show the shop haul that he gets to some of
an excuse to shop more.
Yeah. And he's like, today new in the shop, and I'm like, ooh. So they're really fun. Their friendship is awesome. And I've mentioned before the Steel City Stitchers. They're another one of my favorites. I like Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, Julie. She has a very wide range of stitching things that she likes. She'll do samplers, she'll do Halloween, she'll do just all sorts of, modern to whatever. So she's kind of fun to watch, and she dyes some of her own fabrics and stuff too. So she's the one that I told you did the Mill Hill Halloween houses all on. She's going to do them like all on one piece.
That looks like it's going to be amazing. And awesome. Thanks to Jennie, I've started collecting them now. Yeah. So I have one down and zillions to go.
Yeah.
I get gift cards because I work at a call center, and so they always are rewarding the kids with gift cards for like when they come to work on time and when they do random things. And so I get all these gift cards because I come to work on time.
Because adults do that.
Yeah, adults do that. It's so weird. You literally can miss work like 15 times and be like, and they have lates, very lates, and lates. So
that's so crazy.
So that
different degrees.
They were having so much turnover, and it's expensive to train someone, and so they started like lates and very lates and lates, and I'm just like.
And the supervisors got mad because they can't have very lates or lates. What?
It's just hilarious. Like,
anyway.
And then, so if you don't get a late, which I've actually gotten 3 lates this week, but it's because the kids come in right as I'm supposed to sign onto the phone, and they ask me like something, and I'm like, I'm working, go away. And then they ask me something again, and I'm like, and so I just give in and tell them, and I look down, and it's like 2:01, and so now I'm officially late. I'm like, oh, kids, just go away. But I love them dearly.
Yeah.
But when I'm working, it's really hard because then I got 3 lates last week, and that does not ever happen for me. So no gift card this month.
It's sad.
Because usually I have like 0 lates, like for an entire year. So
yeah.
Oops. But yeah, so it's kind of funny. But they give gift cards all the time, like for like the funniest things, like to Amazon, like you upsold 2 things, you get a gift card, and I'm like, bonus, I'll take that. So or sometimes they like, if you work 2 extra hours, we'll give you $15 in Amazon gift cards, and I'm like, sometimes I could care less, and I'm like, whatever. But sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Depends on my week.
Well, and it depends on if they have like the buy one get one free type stuff too. That's insane.
Yeah. There's nothing like a buy one get one to make people call you. And COVID.
Yeah.
It's an essential oil company, and they're like, what's the cure for COVID? I'm like, they don't have a cure for COVID. No, really, you can tell me. You can tell me. Just between us, what is it? I'm like, there isn't one. Just between us, there isn't one. And so, yeah, you get some of those, but you also get like, oh my gosh, Smiley in Canada.
Oh, yeah.
Cutest old man in the whole wide world. He's in his 90s, and when he calls, he makes my week. He's absolutely a doll, and I could talk to him for hours. Absolutely could talk to him for hours. He's just the sweetest guy in the whole world, and he tells me all about what he's doing, and I have another guy that calls me that tells me about his beets. Did not know that beets were that healthy. I don't like them, but they're very healthy. So I love my job. It's like I do it and I walk away.
Yeah, but it's nice because they give her gift cards, so then she can buy Mill Hill kits
on Amazon. I can buy Mill Hill kits on Amazon, and Brent can't even complain because he didn't pay 1 penny for them.
Nope.
My favorite YouTube stitcher though of all time is Vanna. I had been following her blog because I'm one of those old stitchers, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I think Vanna and I are kind of close to the same age.
Similar-ish.
Yeah. But anyway, so I'd been following Vanna's blog forever. And so when she started doing her video tutorials and her videos of her stitching, I was like, yes.
I think I need to change my alerts on hers because I don't get her alerts, and suddenly I'll be like, oh wait, she had a video.
Oh, I have her alerted. But she's also one that if I could meet her, I would give her a hug and tell her thank you, because
that's how I learned how to do most of my stitching.
She has given me the gift of being able to finish things that I never would finish.
Yeah.
And her videos are just always just so uplifting. I always enjoy her videos so much. In fact, when my husband was in the hospital a couple years ago at 2 a.m, and it's not like you can call your sister. Well, I guess I could. She would have answered.
I would have
She
answered.
was a good sister.
Yeah.
But I would have felt guilty, and you can't call your sister and say, I'm all by myself in the hospital, I'm really stressed. So
and I think it was my anniversary weekend because you're supposed to watch my kids. I didn't know that. It was a surprise getaway.
I called Richard. I'm like, Brent's in the hospital. I'm so sorry. Your babysitter's bailing on you. He was so kind about it too. And but yeah, so I watched Vanna's videos over again because she always talks about her church service and so it's just uplifting, and I felt like I wasn't alone. So Vanna was my hospital buddy.
Yeah.
And then I always love. Have you watched Elena B?
Oh, I'll have to watch.
She makes me want to be brave and wear red lipstick. And she's just the cutest thing ever. And someday I'm going to go to San Francisco. She works at a bakery.
Oh.
And her Instagram is the cruelest thing to watch in the entire world.
Yeah.
Because my mouth just waters, and I'm like, oh, it's a good thing she's in San Francisco and I'm in Utah, because I would be like, I need that today. That looks so good. But she makes those things. And then I'm trying to think. Oh, I also there's a vet. I want to say it's like Bouquet Stitcher.
Oh, okay. I've heard of her.
And I like hers too, because sometimes she talks about animals, and she looks like she's a crazy animal person like me. I think we'd be real life buddies.
Yeah. I started watching a couple of newer ones. Colette, the highway stitcher, she is actually lives in the same area that I do. And so
fun.
that's really fun. She sent me messages and was like, when COVID calms down a little, we need to get together and do a stitchy day. If you don't mind stitching with an old lady. And I just started laughing. I was like, I'm happy to stitch with whoever.
I will stitch with anybody.
Yeah. So
that was my big dream, was to have someone to stitch with once in a while. And I've never had it until you learned how to stitch.
Yeah.
So.
And I started watching Made by Michelle McGraw, and she has fabulous finishes. Like
Talented.
Amazing. Yeah, she does such a great job. She took the little seed packets that Priscilla and Chelsea have come out with lately, like their tiered tidbits or whatever they call them, but they're made to look like a seed packet cover, and she has actually finished hers and stuffed like beads, like the little plastic pellet beads in there, so that they actually shake like a seed packet. That was really cool.
That is a good idea.
Anyway,
I do love Priscilla and Chelsea too.
Yeah,
I'm like a year behind, but I really do love them. I was current.
Yeah.
And then I homeschool. I work, and I've been really sick this year. I got the long COVID.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you out there that have long COVID, bless your little hearts. It does get better, but it's terrible. And so I feel like just, surviving a day is a good day.
Yep. She would call me, and it would be all she could do in the beginning to even talk to me for like 5 minutes.
I would get so out of breath I couldn't talk to people.
Yeah.
It was a very lonely time, that is for sure. And then, they told me that as long as I was coughing, I had a chance of still being contagious. Well, I coughed all the way through December.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in October.
Yeah.
And
I did a lot of porch drop-offs there the first few weeks. And
I didn't want to give it to anybody because I was so sick. And then there's people that get it and have nothing.
Yeah.
Strangest, weirdest,
like her daughter.
bizarrest.
Her daughter had nothing. So even in the same family, it's kind of weird stuff. Yeah. But
yeah. And they were saying by blood type. I'm like, well, we all have the same blood type, so I don't think that holds water. Mm-hmm. I think in 10 years it'll be interesting for them to go back and say, oh, this was this, and this was this, and this is what caused this.
Yeah, I think so too. But
until then, nobody knows anything.
I know. We'll see. Yeah, and that would be frustrating going to your doctor. He would always be like, I don't know.
Just wait.
I don't know.
I'm not a waiter.
Oh, just kidding. Here's why. Occasionally they've figured some stuff out, but anyway.
But I'm better now.
Yeah.
Better than I have been, that's for sure.
But yeah, it's been fun, especially I think being part of Flosstube. I'm finding new Flosstubers and because I kind of just stuck with my few that I already had known, and so now it's kind of opening up a new world as they comment on my things, or somebody else mentioned somebody. I was like, oh, I should check them out. I feel like it's more of a community than... It is so much more of a community, and it's for those of you that take the time to make the Flosstubes, kudos to you, and for those that take the time to do tutorials, thank you. For sure.
There's so many things I have learned from tutorials that have made it so that my scroll of shame only has like 2 or 3 things in it. Yep.
I've learned how to lace things, how to make my bags. I've learned how to finish pillows and how to do like cute finishing around my pillows. And like when Vanna has commented on some of my stuff, like she watched my first Flosstube and like I texted Melanie, I was like, but like she even sent me like on my Instagram account when I said I was struggling with something, she gave me a tip on how to fix it like on my Instagram, which I thought was so sweet. So
she commented once that I had nice stitches, and I was like, it was like being complimented by like the president on your great political stance. That's how I felt. Fauna commented on my nice stitches. I was like, oh,
thank you. You'll have to bring over my little pillow that I made for you.
Oh, I love my pillow.
I stitched, it was a freebie from Priscilla, and I stitched it in different colors in teals, and it was a sunflower, which she loves.
So cute.
And in teal colors, because that's the color of her kitchen, and turned out really cute. But when Priscilla said how pretty it was on my Instagram, like I almost like started to cry. So I'm like fangirling and
you're like, I've arrived.
Yeah, and when Erica from Steel City Stitchers, when we reached out and started like chatting, I was like fangirling and like, you want to do this Sal with me? And like she was totally a game, and like I started totally like fangirling, and I don't know, it's kind of funny how you follow people and you know them, and
I have to say, anyone I've ever met that cross stitches they're just good people.
Yeah,
and
very genuine.
They're very wonderful and sharing and caring, and you know,
so giving.
Some of my favorite things that I would come home was spending time at the stitching store and actually stitching back before COVID, when you could do things like that, and just visiting with the stitchers that came in, and they were all always seemed to be like 15, 20 years older than me, but there's a lot to be said for life experiences and stuff, and so I always enjoyed it. But it's so fun now because there's young stitchers, because I'm 46. My kids will correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm 46.
You're 47. No, 46. We're 8 years difference, and I'll be 40 next year.
Yeah, so 46? No, I am 47.
47.
Did I turn 47?
You just turned 47.
See, I have mental block. I don't want to be 47. Yeah. I want to be 29.
Yeah.
So I'm in my 40s. My doctor even asked me, he's like, how old are you? And I told him, he goes, do you want to try again? I said, if you have it in your chart, why are you asking me?
I have to do the math. Let's see, I was born in 82. How old am I?
Yeah, so, but there's more younger stitchers now.
Yeah.
And I think it's cute because my teenagers, they both know how to stitch, but only one of them really enjoys it. But the other one, we've actually found something she likes to do. Like, if they don't have a pattern, she's all in. So I bought a Russian kit that actually didn't come with a pattern. It was a picture and some floss. And I was like, no. And she thought it was the best thing ever. She's almost done with it. And so it's kind of interesting. So I thought she'd like embroidery. So I bought her all the embroidery stuff. And
not a fan. Now, I think it's funny because my niece, she'll comment. Send me texts. I was like the 8th person to watch your video, Aunt Jennie. And she helped me pick out like my Christmas start, like it's Christmas Day, I got all this new stuff, what should I start? And I sent her pictures because nobody would text me back, and
she will.
She's awful at texting.
I am. She's leave awful. My phone somewhere and I might not see it for days.
So I text my niece, I'm like, hey Sage, what do you think? Which one should I start? And she'll like,
and she has opinions.
Oh, she does. And
she's
she
not
told
afraid
me
to share
which ones that I thought, and then she'll send me texts, and it's kind of funny. I feel like she's like my number one like fan.
It was really funny because I happened to be awake when you posted your last video, and I was like, oh.
It was late too.
It was late
because it wasn't wanting to upload.
And I was like, oh, I should go to bed, but I'm totally gonna watch this so that I can tell Sage I watched it before her. And so she woke up, and I said, guess what? And she's like, what? And I said, Jennie posted another video. She's like, I know, I got an alarm when I saw my phone this morning. I said, yeah, I've already watched it. And she was just like...
And it's funny because she doesn't know that she's here filming with me.
No, she doesn't. They were like, you're putting makeup on? I'm like, yeah. I said, I just, it's COVID. I've never been able to wear makeup, and I get to go spend time with my sister. And I'm going to be beautiful for her. She's like, oh, okay. And then I packed a tote full of stuff because I brought all this stuff. Yeah. And she's like, what are you doing? I said, oh, Jennie wanted to see some of my stitching stuff that's for examples and things. Oh, okay.
Like,
didn't even
still, like, you'll have to tell me how she reacts.
I'm not telling her a thing until she watches it. She's going to be like, what?
And it was funny because
she's going to want to be a guest video,
Oh, she totally will.
I'll have to tell her she has to stitch on something before she can come.
You should tell her she has to finish back stitching.
She has
her hummingbird.
She has a hummingbird that's been done for years, except for the back stitching. And she won't do it.
I told her, I'm like, just set an alarm, 5 minutes a day, and just like whittle away at it. And she wants my daughter Catherine to backstitch it for her.
I think what I'll actually
because they both had the same.
Oh, they did do the same one. They both love hummingbirds. Yeah, and so they both did the same one.
And Catherine has it totally finished, and she's like, backstitching. That's like the easiest thing. That's the easiest part of it, and she hates it.
She hates it so bad. She will put a project that she wants so bad back because it has too much back stitching.
Yeah.
So she really likes like Little House Needleworks and
Country Cottage
and Lizzie Kate's.
And
she loves Lizzie Kate's.
Yeah, she does a lot of Lizzie Kate's,
and she never stitches the same colors, except for suddenly this like patriotic one that she got. She's
adamant it has to be freedom.
I want the freedom, and I'm like, I can't find the freedom. Can't you just be like, pick another blue that you like? No, I want freedom. And
she's
like,
so funny.
You never stitch the right colors. You're always changing things, and now you have to have freedom just because it's out of stock. And endive.
Yeah, I have endive.
I do too, but I don't want to give it to her.
I think it's called for in my big Country Cottage Needleworks, like winter houses.
I have.
So I'm not willing to.
I'm pretty sure it's in one of the notes that I have coming up.
Oh, yeah.
So I want to finish my notes before she can have it.
Yeah, plus, it's probably not very big if it's on
I'm a stingy floss user. Like, I make my floss go far. And she will just throw like 3 inches away. I'm like, you could make a lot of stitches with that.
Maybe not so much with her needles, because if she's doing a 26 needle, it's amazing what the difference of stitches you can get out of a 26 versus a 28. I don't know.
Jennie likes to side with Sage.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, no. It takes
I
the
remember
village,
when I remember when I was stitching with a 26 and being like amazed, like, how do you like finish? How do you get such little like?
That is true, because it is a thinner, smaller needle too.
Yeah, it's a little bit shorter too. So I just remember thinking, how do you? I try and I can't even get my needle through it. And anyway, so.
Sometimes teenagers like their aunts better than their moms. Yeah. So it's nice to have. It's nice to have aunts. It's nice to. My kids have adult siblings as well, so that's really helpful too.
Yeah, it takes a village for real, like with teenagers.
Oh.
Even sometimes when they're little kids. Well, my teacher said. Well, okay.
That's funny. I never had to deal with that till recently, because we've always homeschooled, and the last few years we've been doing an online school at home, and so they actually have teachers. And so it's been funny listening to them suddenly have all these strange opinions that are coming from their teachers. So I'm like, all right.
I was like, it wasn't even like the things that would drive me crazy was like, no, that's not what your teacher said. Your teacher said this, and you're taking it as this. And so we would have.
There is that.
Yeah. And
this project has to be 5 minutes long, Mom. It's not long enough. And I pull up the paperwork. And I'm like, I don't see anything about 5 minutes anywhere.
Yep.
Children.
Kids. Anyway, we should probably end this soon, because I'm going to have to leave to go get my kids.
I know. See, this is what happens when the two of us get together.
We can talk. This is going to be the longest video I've ever...
It's going to take hours to render and upload, so we better go.
Yeah.
Thank you for letting me share your YouTubes.
Yeah. Thanks for coming.
I feel like a guest star.
It was so fun. I loved it. It was great.
It'll be months before you see me again, because I don't stitch very often.
But that's okay.
Maybe she'll invite me back at Christmas and I can find my cheese ornament, because I would enjoy showing it off.
Yeah, we should do it around fall too, right before school starts or something, when you start pulling out all your fall cross stitch too. Because you actually finish your fall and Halloween.
I know, I'm really good at finishing those.
Yeah, because you like the colors and the pumpkins and everything. So
I have that one that's been finished forever that hasn't been finished. I should do that this year too.
Oh, you're bobbing for pumpkins one?
You even dyed me string for it.
I used string. Yeah, I did. So, anyway, thanks for watching Flosstube. Don't forget to subscribe and to check out our Instagram. I will link Melanie's Instagram below. All the projects will be listed below. I will actually add my color conversion. A lot of you have asked about it for my Jardin Prive garden piece. I will go ahead and add that conversion below. And any floss tubers that I can remember that we talked about, I'll link them below, as well as the actual link for the Biscornu.
Biscornu, that's a great word.
Biscornu. So anyway, I'm excited to do this. So
I'm excited to stitch it. I'm a little worried about doing it.
I think it'll be okay. I watched a video on how to do it, and it didn't look bad. So We'll see. I might have to finish hers for her.
I'd let her.
Yeah, she totally would too. Anyway, thanks for checking us out this week. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.